Good evening, everyone. This is John Screaming Eamon here with Ritchie Randall from Gravehuffer.
What's up?
Gravehuffer. Richie, how you doing?
Doing well, John. How about you?
Oh, not too bad considering some of the technology
Sure,
nowadays.
man.
So, who rounds out the rest of Gravehuffer?
What's that?
Who rounds out the rest of the band?
Well, I play guitar, do backing vocals. We got Wes McNeely on drums, Forrest Swepson on vocals, and the bass situation's a little weird, but Mike Gilgi is our bass player. But he's in, I don't know, he's in a nursing home, but it's like for physical therapy. He was
I got
diagnosed,
you.
yeah, he was diagnosed with like blood cancer. The beginning of this year, and
Sorry to hear that.
yeah, man, we all appreciate that. And but he's fighting it real well. He's recovering, and he's probably going to get out within a month or so. He's just trying to get his mobility back because he's been so bedridden, and he had this mass like on his hip area, and that's where the
Oof.
cancer was. And so it's been kind of a long recovery process for him. But one thing that was positive was he thought he was going to have to get a bone marrow transplant, but turns out he's not going to have to do that because he's responding really well to the treatment. So his numbers are good and everything. But
Okay.
so yeah, that's long story short, he's having health issues, and so we have somebody filling in, and his name is David Utter, and he's playing bass for us on live shows and stuff, and so
All right.
we'll he'll probably be our live bass player for the foreseeable future. It may take Mike quite a while to get back to fighting shape, as they say. He may play some local shows.
Understandable.
Yeah, he may play some local shows here and there, and but he said traveling might be difficult. So yeah, David's part of the family now, and so yeah, that's kind of the direction we're going in.
All right. And do you have any live shows coming up?
Yeah, we do. We've played a bunch already this year. We just played a show last night, actually, here in Joplin. Um,
Okay.
we got start. I think it's the end of August. It's Labor Day weekend. We're doing like not Omaha, Lincoln, Nebraska, and then we're doing Cheyenne, Wyoming, I believe. Cheyenne or Casper, I can't remember which.
Okay.
And then we're doing Riverton, Wyoming, out in the middle of nowhere, and then we're going to circle back around to Rapid City, South Dakota, and then come home after that.
All
Um,
right.
yeah, and then we've got just some one-offs here and there. We're opening for Green Jello here in Joplin on October 3rd. We're doing Oklahoma City and Amarillo, Texas, in the middle of October. Um, I think that's all we have for the moment. Stuff just kind of comes up, and we can either do it or we can't. But normally
Yeah.
in the wintertime, we don't play as many shows. As if we do, it's usually local, or maybe we'll go down south or something. Maybe do Texas or
I hear
something.
you.
Yeah,
Get away from a little bit of the winter weather.
yeah, exactly.
So, um, any new music in the works?
Yes, we've written a new record. It's ready to record. It probably would have been out by now, but with the health setbacks, that kind of precluded us from getting that situated. So we've kind of it's been on the back burner, but we are playing like three new songs live just to kind of get our teeth into them and see how they, you know, I don't know what I'm
See
trying to
what the
say.
crowd response.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yep.
I'm having some
Has it been
practice.
positive?
It's been incredible. Like
Yeah.
the new stuff seems to have some of the best reactions, and which is exciting for all of us. It makes us even more excited to record it. This will be our let's see, fourth record. No, fifth record. It'll be our fifth record.
Yep.
So
And the last one you put out obviously was a live one in 2024, but before that was 23, right?
yes, yes,
Yep. So fans are hungry for new music, I guess. That's a
yeah,
good
for
thing.
sure. We get asked about it a lot, and especially when we play the new stuff. Like we'll get to the merch table. Hey, what's that one song? is that on any of these? I'm like, no, like those are songs we haven't recorded yet. Oh man, that was awesome. Like I said, the response has been really cool. So
Yeah. Well, that's good. So how do you guys start writing songs? Is it start with riff, or do you guys start with lyrics? What's the scoop?
it's a combination of both. It's a little bit more
Okay.
start with riffs than lyrics, but there are times when a lyric, maybe just a word or a phrase or an idea, a subject, will inspire a riff or a musical idea. There's even times when a drum beat will inspire a rhythm that'll turn into a song.
Right.
It's kind of all of the above for us, and same with recording. We've done the sending tracks back and forth thing, recording live, recording one at a time, but in the same place. We've done studios and home recording and recording in venues and just all of it really. And I think that's made us more well prepared to do whatever we can, and whatever challenges that come to us, we're usually pretty prepared for it, and we can wear both hats of the creative
I
hat
got you.
and recording hat and the performing. So so yeah, it's we don't typically get the red light syndrome either, where the red light record light comes on and we're like, oh, freak out. The guys, we're all pretty good at nailing our parts, and which I think that just part of that just comes from playing all the time. We rehearse at least once
Yeah.
a week, and so and we're all good friends too. So that helps a lot for those long van rides and those
Oh,
motel rooms and stuff. It's like
I can
we
imagine.
we get along. So so that helps a ton. It really does.
Yeah. So do you prefer the creative process, or do you prefer playing on stage?
Um, Personally, I prefer playing on stage. Um, I love the creative process too, because that gives you an excuse to get on stage. Say,
Yeah,
hey, look
true.
at my new toys. And I love that aspect for sure, because it is you're like a little kid showing off all the other kids, like, hey, I got this new Transformer, or I got this new GI
Yep.
Joe, whatever, and and they're like, oh wow, that's really cool. But yeah, I love both, but playing live is the I guess the end game or the payoff. You know what I mean? It's the
Yeah,
ultimate
I
part
get
of,
you.
yeah. It's like that's what you're working towards. So, but yeah, the creative process is it's a lot of fun. It can be stressful, especially when you're in a collaborative effort. Because
Yeah.
we're pretty democratic in the way we operate, and so that really helps. And um, because there are times when you're like, oh man, I really like this riff, and but the rest of the guys are like, not into it. And I mean, I've probably got two or three solo albums you know, full of riffs, discarded, riffs that didn't make a Gravehuffer record or whatever, stuff that I could
Okay.
do on my own. I mean, we just have so much stuff. We're always writing, and even when we're like not in writing mode, stuff still pops in your head and you record it. But when we're in
Yeah.
writing mode, it just all like there'll be hundreds of ideas sometimes, and it's like it just stays cooped up in your brain, and you're just grabbing it from wherever you need to grab it from,
Yeah.
and you get inspired by just anything really. But yeah, the writing process is really cool. We just bounce ideas off of each other, and somebody will start something, and then somebody will hear something and run with it in a different direction, or whatever. We typically don't come in with complete song ideas. It's mostly just little seeds, little snippets, and then the
Yeah.
band gets together and turns it into something.
So speaking of the live shows, how chaotic are the crowds in the pit?
Well, it gets pretty crazy sometimes. I mean, last night was kind of wild. Joplin shows, they don't mosh that much here, but last night was pretty cool. They were going
Yeah.
pretty crazy. So like every band had a good pit going for most of their set. Yeah, it depends. Trying to think of some of the other areas. We've played always Amarillo, Texas. Like every time we play there, they go bananas. It's just crazy. They they're really hungry for it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's been one of our more favorite places. Birmingham, Alabama is another one. Like
Okay.
we just played there a couple weeks ago, and that crowd was just out of their mind. You know, they were just screaming and yelling and just headbanging and moshing and just all the above. And it was really, you just feed off of that, you know. And
Yeah.
it's this
Does
cool
that make
little.
you want to? Does it make you want to perform better, or is it
It
the same?
does. Yeah,
Yeah.
it really does. It really kind of lights that, gives you that second wind or that third wind or whatever, and lights that fire
Yeah.
even hotter, you know. Yeah, it's definitely, any musician will tell you that. That's really passionate and really do it for the love of it. You know, they'll tell you,
Yeah.
like, when the crowd's going off their mind, it's exciting. You know, you just feel that rush of energy, and you kind of give it back to them. You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
I hear you. Um, who are your main influences for writing?
For me, I like a lot of classic metal, like Priest and Sabbath and Deep Purple. Like my parents named me after Ritchie Blackmore,
Yeah.
and so I'm a huge Rainbow fan. You know, stuff like that. I'm also into like your '80s thrash. That was huge for me. Of course, the Big Four and um, some of the like German thrash, like Creator and Destruction.
Oh
And,
yeah.
just all that stuff. Then that got me going into death metal, like Morbid Angel and um, Deicide and stuff like that, Cannibal Corpse, all that old school, Tampa death metal, and
Oh yeah.
getting into Sepultura and just stuff like that, and then I also got into like Godflesh and some of the real just slow, heavy stuff too. A lot of Earache Records stuff, like back in the late '80s and early '90s was,
Oh yeah.
and Relapse Records. Had those catalogs. You flip through them and you're like, oh, that's cool. Like, oh, Brutal Truth,
Yeah.
that's cool. And we would read magazines to find out where to
Oh
get
yeah.
new music. Metal Maniacs was a
That
magazine.
was that was the best one out
That
there for
was the
all
best
those.
one, man.
Yep.
Like they had like Barney from Napalm Death would write articles for Metal
Yep.
Maniacs and stuff, and like it was cool how it was a metal mag, but it was almost like a punk rock DIY ethos to it. And
Yeah.
so that was what attracted me to it.
Yeah. I mean, I love the album reviews in the back
Yeah,
of the
yeah, the
magazine
shorts and
because,
yeah,
yep, yeah, I picked out I don't know how many bands out of that I ended
same,
up just falling in
same.
love with. So,
Yeah,
yep,
there was a band that myself and Mike, our original bassist, and our original drummer Larry, we used to be in this crust punk band in like '96 or '7 up until like 2001. It was called Initial Detonation, and we sent our record to Metal Maniacs, our EP, I guess, and they
yeah,
reviewed it in the shorts section, and we're like, yeah, that's cool.
shit, eh?
Yeah, we thought, oh, that's awesome. But yeah, that band was pretty wild. Like we toured a lot. Like we would go out for like
Yeah,
6 weeks and 3 weeks, and we did a lot of touring. But it was
yeah.
different back
So,
then.
oh yeah, big
Yeah.
time. So, any funny stories from the road?
Um. Hmm.
Legal?
No. Yeah. Yeah. No. I don't know. We're pretty mellow. We don't like party and stuff too much.
Yeah,
Um. But I mean, it's the thing I like about the road is just networking, meeting new people, and
yeah,
like you're literally watching these just insanely talented killer bands for free. You know what I mean? And we get on these bills with these just unreal bands, and you're like, why are these guys not bigger? I mean, some of that
yeah.
stuff in the underground is way better than stuff that's more popular.
Oh, I
And
agree.
I mean, it's insane the talent level that's out there. I was talking to one of my buddies last night about that. Like the talent level at this level is just unreal. Like when I was real young, that just it kind of wasn't the case. You could
Yeah.
tell the local bands, and now the local bands will just mop your ass off the stage. Like, dude, these guys are great. Like they're like it makes us really have to keep up our A game. You know, we really, it inspires us to, like, these three bands just played. Now we got to follow all that, you know, and so
Yeah.
we definitely come out there with this mission statement of like, okay, we're gonna give it the best we got, and we're gonna show them like what we're capable of, you know. So yeah, that's honestly my favorite part of the road. But I mean, there's weird stuff that happens, and it's usually like
Yeah.
vehicle malfunctions and stuff, like you're stranded somewhere, and you know, but and you know, crowd stories are always wild. Like we were playing in Fort Wayne, Indiana, one time, and as soon as we start playing, the pit just went. It's like an explosion went off, and everybody's merch
Okay.
tables like went everywhere. This one merch table had candles on it, and so there's fire, hot wax, and fire on the floor, and we're like, dude, what is going on? You know, like yeah, it gets pretty crazy. You know, some like you
Yeah.
said, the crowd kind of it gets nuts. Girl got her nose broke the other night. I mean, it's just
Oh, jeez.
yeah, it gets nuts, man. Yeah, they get crazy, and sometimes you'll
Oh
hear
yeah.
people like screaming and yelling. We're like, what do we do? Like, I'm just kind of looking in the general area, like, are they okay? You know, my inner dad
Yeah.
comes out. I've got 4
Oh yeah.
kids, so I'm like, are these kids okay? Like, hey guys, let's chill. You know, let's have fun, but don't be beating the shit out of each other. You know, but
True.
yeah.
True. There's a safe way to mosh for sure.
There is.
Yep. So, so is there an album you cannot live without?
Oh man. Um, Gosh, there's a lot. But if I had to pick just one, it would probably be Judas Priest, "Sad Wings of Destiny."
Okay. Great choice.
Yeah.
So, in your entire catalog, is there a song that means the most to you personally?
Brainstorm. It's off the "Depart from So Much Evil" record. The way we wrote that record was side 2 is the long 22-minute like 3-part epic, which is about
Yeah.
Dante's Divine Comedy, Inferno, Purgatory, and Paradise. And Mike and I have been kicking around that idea ever since the initial detonation days in the late '90s, and we finally thought, well, let's just do it. Let's get it out of our system, you know. And we already had all these cool ideas for it and everything, and then initially it was going to be a split with another band, but that just didn't pan out. So we're like, well, we need to write some more songs to do this as proper as a record. And
Yeah.
so we kind of split off and somewhat did solo songs. I guess we had completed ideas on the first side of the record. Like I would write something, Mike would write something, our singer Travis would write something, and then there was one song that was a cover of one of Mike's old bands called Encrusted, and that's the last song on the first side there. Um, and then there was like one song that we kind of like all chipped in on. So we just tried to do that to kind of expedite expedite the process, you know. But
Yeah.
Brainstorm was my solo song, I guess, and it was about mental health struggles, and it was a real hard song to write, but
Yeah.
but yeah, anytime I hear that, it kind of gets me.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that one because that's the number one song that I want to talk to you about. That was the one
Okay,
that
cool.
hit me out of your entire catalog. It's probably my favorite song of yours.
Oh wow,
Um,
oh wow,
so
that's
yeah,
that's cool.
that one was that stood out for sure.
Wow,
And
thank
then
you. That's
causes
another
really
one.
stood out.
Yeah, that's another like song about mental health struggles, and the story behind that one was Mike had that song written. He had the whole song, the music part of it written, and nobody had a lyric. We're like, what are we gonna do? A friend of ours had passed away a few years back, and we're like, well, let's do a
Sorry to hear
tribute to
that.
him somehow, you know. And we he had a poem called Causes, and we just used his poem as the lyric, and we got permission from his family, and they said yes, and the poem went. We didn't have to edit it at all. It was kind of like it was meant to be, and so that was another very touching, special song. We used to when the Necro record came out, we played that for a couple years, just in it.
Yeah.
It was the set every night. So, and it was always like a
Yeah.
huge highlight.
Yeah. So if you can see, those are the two that I've got highlighted there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So yeah,
Nice.
those are the ones that hit those ones hit me really, really good. And then
Cool.
Destroyer was something else too. I love that. I love the whole vibe on that song.
Oh, the Twisted Sister cover.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
It
cool.
just you guys own that cover. So
Nice, man. Yeah,
yeah.
we we're we're probably gonna bring that out at live soon. It's
Yeah.
been bumping around. And I was like, man, we probably ought to do that. We don't have anything real slow and sludgy in the set, and I was like, that would be a cool one. Do a cover. So because we're not really a
Yeah.
slow sludgy band so much, but we like to do it when we have the opportunity, and that was the perfect one.
Yeah. And then the last one, Ghost Dance.
Yeah, Ghost Dance is another one that's very special. It was written about Sitting Bull and the Wounded Knee Massacre. Um,
Okay.
we had some Native American friends that we kind of not necessarily collaborated with, but we got some insight from some of our friends. Like we have friends in Tulsa, Oklahoma that are Native Americans, and some friends in Kansas City. And we our drummer at the time, Jay, and then our singer Travis wrote those lyrics, and they were just going back and forth with some of our um, Native American friends, and basically trying to make sure that it was accurate, and if it,
Okay.
make sure it wasn't like offensive or anything like that. So, and everybody's thought they were real proud of us for doing it, and we got, funnily enough, a little bit of backlash when we released that, and people were saying we were racist towards white people, and it was really bizarre. And it was weird, and
Gotta love the haters.
yeah, it was odd. Like, all you care about brown people, and I'm like, wow. It was very, it's like, man, like we all got to get along, dude. That's what this is about.
Yeah.
Like the government at the time came in and just wiped them out. No
Oh
warning,
yeah.
like they just came. It was. They used to call it the Battle of Wounded Knee, and then they rightfully changed it to massacres. There was no battle. There was
No.
only weapons on one side.
Yep.
So yeah, but that's
Yeah.
that's what that was about. They did the natives didn't know what else to do but do the ghost dance because they were just scared to death, and they're like, well, if we're gonna leave on if we're gonna have to leave this earthly plane, we'll do it on our terms, and that's why they did that. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's that one kind of gets me too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Those ones really stood out for me. So I did want
nice,
to
man.
talk about those. So
Thank you.
um, you're very welcome. Looking back on your career with Gravehuffer, is there anything you would change?
Um, no, I just I don't know. I'm not really. I don't know. I've never had that thought process about, oh, would I do anything different? And
Yeah.
I mean, there are a few things here and there that I, regrets, I guess, and more personal life kind of stuff. But as far as like the band, um, I don't really think so. The only thing that would have been cool is if we were called Gravehuffer in the beginning, because we
Yeah.
used to be called Crom from Conan the
Okay.
Barbarian.
Yep.
Crom and
From.
yeah, Crom. So
Yep.
we went by that from 2008 to 2012, and then we changed the name
Okay.
to Gravehuffer in 2012, and because we were getting confused with a lot of bands called Crom, and so we a tornado came through Joplin and kind of really fucked us up for a long time in
That was that
2000.
big F5, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was
Yep.
a bad deal, and
Yeah.
we lost our practice space, our house, and it was
Oof.
not good. So we kind of had to go on a hiatus for about almost a year, and when we got back
Yeah.
together, we decided to change the name of the band. So that's kind of where that originated. But
Okay.
yeah, I don't really think I would change anything.
All right. Um, where do you see Gravehuffer in 5 years then?
Hopefully, still slogging away. I hope we can be on the road more consistently. Like instead of like every few weeks doing 4 and 5 day runs, it would be nice to do 2 or 3 weeks, you know, 2 or 3 times a year, something like that. Maybe get on a bigger tour or something, it would be nice to get on a label that could help us get our name out there a little more.
I hear
Because,
you.
every time people review us or see us or, people will message us and stuff and they'll be like, you guys deserve a bigger crowd. And, we get that message a lot. And, you know, I'm not one to pat myself on the back or anything, but,
Yeah.
you know, it would be cool. It would be nice to be able to show people what we got. Because I
Yeah.
think, I think we're a good band, and I think we could deliver the goods, so to speak, on a
Oh
nightly
yeah.
basis, and I don't know. I really think we're in a good place right now to where we could maybe make that next little leap and then revel in that.
Yeah. I hear
Yeah.
you.
hmm
I hear you. Well, before we wrap it up, do you have a message for your fans, Richie?
Well, I'm so thankful that people support underground music and heavy music, extreme music, music that's different, music that has that portrays a certain emotion. Like you say, songs that kind
Yeah.
of get you here. Or it makes you feel a certain
Yeah.
way. It makes you feel feelings. Whether it's
Yep.
aggression or sadness or melancholia or whatever it is. Not something that's just in the background, but something that really
Yeah.
captures your attention and makes you either think or feel something. And I feel like we do that pretty well. And
Oh yeah, I agree.
and so I'm just hoping that everybody else gets out of it what we put into it. And if you want to check us out, gravehuffer.bandcamp.com is kind of the one-stop shop.
And all streaming platforms as well, right?
Of course, yep.
Yep.
We're everywhere. So it's
Yep.
the Spotify's, the Amazon Music's, the iTunes, the Apples, and Deezer, Napster, all that stuff.
Yep. And don't forget to check out Facebook and Instagram.
Yep. Yep. We're on all the socials too. Well, not all of them, but yeah, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We got a YouTube channel. We're almost at 1,000. So sub to our channel. We usually got some cool stuff up there. We got official videos and live performances and shorts and, little
Yep.
individual clips and all that good stuff.
Well, let's help spread the word then.
All right, man. John, thanks for having me. I appreciate
Richie,
you. Thank
been a
you.
pleasure.
It has been
And
a
we'll
pleasure.
touch. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Take care.
You too.